Can't kick the cough and runny nose?
Why it may be more than just a cold in what's going around. Hear this local couple's story of their desperate attempts to reach a loved one in hurricane-ravaged Puerto Rico. Plus, Rick Pitino's possible role in a case involving bribery, corruption, and fraud in college basketball.
And breaking news, a popular gun and ammo store catches fire.
Local 6 at 10 starts right now.
Tracking breaking news right now. This is Local 6 at 10.
This portion of Carroll Road in Paducah is blocked tonight because of a fire at Shooter's Supply. That's in the 3900 block between US 45 and I-24.
Parts of the area have been evacuated. Investigators say ammunition in the store is exploding and creating hazardous conditions. Local 6's Blake Stevens live for us near Carroll Road.
Okay, so Blake, what do we know right now?
Yeah, Jennifer, McCracken County Sheriff John Hayden says the fire is contained, but if you take a look at Shooter's Supply, you will still see smoke pouring out. You'll see plenty of road crews behind me, and they will be here for many hours tonight. As you mentioned, Keith Todd, the spokesperson for the Transportation Cabinet, said there was some ammunition exploding. Therefore, they had to evacuate some local homeowners. Hayden tells me most of the ammunition and firearms are actually in the back of the building. And I do want to mention, if you're thinking about driving onto Carroll Road, maybe you can get around this. You can't. There is no detour. Myself, the photojournalist I'm working with tonight, we had to park and walk quite a bit of ways to get to this scene. Sheriff Hayden says the best thing to do is give firefighters the space they need, let them do their jobs. I do want to mention there is an ambulance here as a precaution in case anyone were to get hurt tonight. And there is an investigation to determine what caused this fire. For now, reporting live in Paducah, Blake Stevens, WPSD Local 6.
All right, Blake, thanks. We'll, of course, update this story on air and online when new information becomes available. New developments tonight in a federal investigation that's shaking up men's college basketball program.
The University of Miami's president sent out this letter saying the U.S. Attorney's Office is investigating a potential tie to one member of the school's coaching staff and a student recruit. The letter essentially identifies University 7 in the FBI complaint as the University of Miami.
Of course, Jennifer, all this after federal investigators announced charges ranging from bribery to wire fraud involving several men's college basketball programs. FBI agents arrested 10 people this week, including 4 assistant coaches and the global marketing director at Adidas. Another shoe company is now involved. Darren Heitzner with Forbes magazine reports today the FBI subpoenaed Nike as part of the corruption investigation.
And Todd, Hall of Fame coach Rick Pitino is feeling the effects of the FBI investigation. Today, the University of Louisville placed him on unpaid administrative leave and the school's athletic director, Tom Jurich, on paid leave. The university's interim president says the moves are a typical response to such an investigation. Local 6 Sports Director Jeff Bidwell joining us now, and today the University of Louisville appeared to begin taking steps to fire Rick Pitino.
Yeah, but there are thoughts really that he may be more involved in this than previously believed, right?
Yeah, there are. When the FBI released their complaints, there are a few specifics in there, of course, lots of aliases, University 6, University 7, Player 10, Company 1, and so on. Through context clues, most of those aliases have been deciphered. The FBI says University 6, or Louisville, had 2 coaches involved in funneling money to recruits, Coach 1 and Coach 2. We don't know who those coaches are. The original thought was they were assistant coaches. Now there is a belief Coach 2 may indeed be Rick Pitino. In the complaint, it reads, Jonathan Augustine, who is affiliated with Adidas Summer Basketball, said he expected Adidas to pay a Louisville recruit's family because, quote, no one swings a bigger hammer than Coach 2 at Adidas, adding, all Coach 2 has to do is pick up the phone and call somebody and say, these are my guys and they're taking care of us, end quote. As a reminder, Adidas paid Pitino more than $2 million as part of his salary. Now, WDRB TV in Louisville asked Pitino's attorney, Steve Pence, if Pitino is Coach 2. Pence said, quote, quite honestly, I don't know. We don't know who they are talking about on there, but we aim to find out. I can tell you for sure Rick Pitino has done nothing wrong. He also added, I do not believe they are going to have any video or audio recording of Coach Pitino. A little bit of contrasting statements there from his attorney. In terms of the complaint, again, the evidence is circumstantial at this point while the names are redacted, but Pence asked for there not to be a rush to judgment, but as Pitino is fighting to get as much of the $44 million he has left on his contract. University lawyers certainly going to be interested in all of this.
All right, Jeff, thank you.
You got it.
Remember to receive breaking news right to your phone. Download the WPSD News app and enable push alerts. Ready-to-eat caviar prepared and packaged in unsanitary conditions. That's the finding of a federal investigation into Fort Massac Fish Market in Metropolis, Illinois. Federal inspections last year found poor sanitation practices, including failure to wash hands, utensils, and food surfaces. They also found insect residue throughout the building and a pet dog inside the facility. A federal court in Illinois permanently banned the company from processing and distributing food.
There are still people tonight that do not know if their parents, their children, their loved ones, friends are safe. This drone video shows the damage in Puerto Rico after Hurricane Maria hit the island a week ago. Power is still out for most of the island. More than 44% of them don't have clean water to drink. Local 6's Blake Stevens spoke to a local couple who is looking everywhere for answers.
Thomas Grant and his wife Marie aren't used to depending on the news to check in on his mom. They're used to talking to her every day.
I talked to her the day before the storm hit.
We told her to get all the water she could get. We told her to get all the fuel she could get. And we told her to get on a plane. But she wouldn't leave.
They just want one simple answer. Is his mom Mary and his stepdad Herman okay?
And then I do on that search, where you can search for your loved ones. I check on that every day. I put in her name and phone number, and we have no result.
They're both optimistic that his mom is physically okay, but because her home is located near recent mudslides, they think she may be stuck in her house.
And it's not just my mother. All them people, I mean, we know a bunch of her neighbors, and it's, I can't imagine not being able to get nowhere to get the things you need.
While Grant wishes he could help, he knows that's not an option right now.
My dad had passed away in 2009, so that's pretty much all I got left is my mom.
But soon he hopes he'll be booking a trip to see her again. In Graves County, Kentucky, Blake Stevens, WPSD, Local 6.
The Grants go to Puerto Rico 1 or 2 times a year. They say they know what it takes to get over to the island. That is why they say the government is doing all they can do to help. Blake also got an update from Myrna Rodriguez. She's a mother in Hopkinsville with a son and grandchildren on the island. She spoke to him moments after we talked to her. Tonight, she says people there are being told to evacuate. Her son will be back October 8th.
Now your Weather Authority first forecast.
All right, a considerable cool down overnight, right?
Yeah, you probably already noticed some of that at the dinner hour as those cooler temperatures arrive. You can see it here. Temperatures across the region, well, they're varying quite a bit now. Nashville's still close to 80 degrees. St. Louis at 65. Kansas City even in the mid-50s right now. That's just how dramatically cooler this air mass is going to be. And overnight tonight, temperatures will feel different too as we wake up early tomorrow morning with overnight lows in the upper 50s, lower 60s. You can see 5 a.m. temperatures around 62 degrees. Maybe a few high clouds out there, but we're setting the stage for some very dry days ahead. We'll look at what that means for the upcoming weekend in just a few minutes.
All right, Jen, thanks.
President Trump and congressional Republicans unveiled their tax reform plan today. The nearly $6 trillion tax cut would reduce taxes for corporations, simplify everybody's tax bracket, and double the standard deduction most of us use. Trump claims the middle class wins with the new formula, but there are too many gaps in the proposal to know how it actually would affect taxpayers. There are also questions tonight about how much it might add to the national debt. One person is dead and another injured in a rock fall at California's Yosemite National Park. Investigators say rocks came crashing down a section with at least 30 climbers on the wall.
Have you ever rented an Airbnb? Starting Sunday, the company will automatically remit Kentucky's 6% state sales tax to the Department of Revenue. It's the visitor, not the host, that will end up paying that tax. And as Local 6's Amanda Roberts shows us, local tourism leaders say there are applicable local taxes and hope the local level won't be forgotten.
This is just one of many.
Not only is the Red Bug a place for your knitting and yarn needs, it's also a place where you're welcome to lay your head.
Coffee's the biggie.
Building owner Jill McEllier uses Airbnb to rent this attached apartment to travelers and families and benefits from the extra income.
They get a personal experience and they spend their money in Murray.
She says she loves the system as is and hopes visitors continue to think so as well.
Well, I don't mind paying taxes. I think I should pay taxes, but I just don't want everybody to get involved and keep taking so much out of it that it's not worth doing.
Even though Airbnb will now remit state taxes, local convention and visitor bureau leaders say there's no collection system through the company to collect local taxes.
And so I think it's a really good thing that you're seeing this happen on a state level.
Erin Carrico with Murray's Convention and Visitors Bureau says West Kentucky towns are just starting to embrace Airbnb. She says as opposed to those state taxes collected automatically through the app, towns with local transient taxes would have to actively collect those taxes.
We know our time is coming. We just have to be a little bit patient.
But in a town with a feels like home tagline,
a lot of people want to experience local flavor.
Why not stay at a home? In Murray, Amanda Roberts, WPSD, Local 6.
Carrico says in Murray they collected an estimated $225,000 in transient taxes last year. That number is mainly from the hotels in the area, not Airbnb. But Carrico says she believes if Airbnb grows in the area, that number will grow as well.
These representatives from 15 countries are experiencing our area's arts and culture. The group toured the Carson Center today for a behind-the-scenes look. Members are here as part of a summit aimed at celebrating education and the arts. Among the group, a mayor's consultant from Saudi Arabia. He says Paducah is impressive.
We saw in this small city big achievement. What we saw in this small size, marvelous achievements, especially in culture, role of art.
Today was the last day of a 5-day visit. This is the first time Paducah has hosted the event. In 2013, UNESCO, or the United Nations Educational, Scientific, and Cultural Organization, designated Paducah as one of the world's best cities for crafts and folk art.
Taxpayers in the Joppa Maple Grove School District will get a break in their property taxes over the next 4 years. A group of taxpayers filed a lawsuit in June against the district and the Massac County Clerk and Treasurer, citing high property taxes against the law. The school board and the group settled that lawsuit yesterday. Property taxes will be on a sliding scale the next 4 years. The settlement says the school board and district did their job, but that it was the county clerk, both past and present, responsible for overtaxing the district. You can see it and smell it from the air. It's almost time for this year's barbecue on the river. Go, girl.
Some people getting into it there. During this private event tonight, everything opens to the public tomorrow through Saturday. Event organizer and President Susie Coiner says they're expecting around 50,000 people this year.
So each contestant, there's actually 35 of them, get the exact same protein, but the way they season it or the temperature they cook it or whatever love they want to put on there is what makes theirs different. But it's so amazing that you can taste 35 different types of the same product.
Think a little alcohol there tonight, Todd?
There may have been. Looks like a lot of fun. All right, join us tomorrow, though. We're excited. We're going to be back there broadcasting live from Barbecue on the River at 5 and 6 o'clock. And remember, share your festival pictures with us.
Post to our Facebook fan page or Twitter so we can see what you see. Use the hashtag Local6BBQ. You may see your picture on the air.
What you have may be more than just a cold.
What doctors are saying and what's going around. Plus, the drop-off locations for our annual Coats for Kids already underway.
As we do have some chillier temperatures headed our way, we'll track that in your hour-by-hour forecast coming up after the break. You're watching Local 6 at 10.
Your breaking news and weather authority with Todd Faulkner, Jennifer Horbelt, weather authority Jennifer Rukavina, and Jeff Bidwell Sports. You're watching Local 6 at 10 in high definition.
Just into the Local 6 newsroom, we have some new information involving that fire at Shooter's Supply on Caro Road in McCracken County we first told you about at the top of the newscast. Sheriff John Hayden says initial reports from another government agency about exploding ammunition were not accurate. He also says no evacuations had to be made. The fire, we're told, is now contained. No word on a cause or any injuries. We'll bring you new information as we receive it.
WPSD Local 6, the weather authority, certified most accurate by Weather Rate.
and many of us breathing a lot easier with that change in the weather underway, and it made for a beautiful sunset on the farm in the Paducah area on our Baptist Health storm pins. You can see there just a few high clouds at sunset, painted a beautiful picture, and we're going to see more of that nice weather over the next couple of days. You can see the temperatures, how quickly they are changing up to our northwest, where you can see a string of 50s and 60s into the upper Midwest, parts of the Great Lakes, and further to the south, though, where the cold front has not reached just yet. We're still at 80 degrees, 79 there in Nashville, 78 in Little Rock, but that cooler air is going to drain all the way south into the deep south later tonight. We're already benefiting from those cooler temperatures under mostly clear skies on the Saladino and Shaft Sky Tracker network. Things pretty quiet right now, 70 degrees, winds a little breezy though out of the north at 8 miles per hour, and that will hold true through the day tomorrow. A little breezy at times, but it's still bringing in all that cooler air. There's more to come going into the upcoming weekend. Just some high clouds associated behind that system. Otherwise, things are nice and quiet across the local 6 area tonight. We did a few isolated showers, maybe a few rumbles of thunder earlier today. Most of it was a quick shower and then it dissipated, and most places did not benefit from any rain from this particular system, which means with a string of very dry days ahead, you might have to do some watering outdoors this weekend if you still have some blooming flowers out there. Otherwise, it's going to be awfully dry. You can see here overnight tonight, mostly clear skies continue with a few high clouds by early morning tomorrow. 8 a.m. temperatures right around 62 degrees. The kiddos might even need a light jacket, maybe not so much in the 60s, but as we get into Monday morning, you'll see how cool those temperatures will be. That's when they'll probably need a light jacket as they head off to school. But you can see here, temperatures will slowly climb through the 60s into the 70s for our highs tomorrow. A big change, as of course we've been talking about record highs in the 90s for several days, if not in Cape Girardeau, the St. Louis area seeing the upper 90s. Big change here. 78 degrees Harrisburg, 77 Madisonville, Marion, 79 down through Metropolis and into Kentucky, Tennessee. Closer to 80 degrees as you get closer to Dyersburg and the Dyer area, New Bern, and back up towards Dexter, 79, and Poplar Bluff at 80 degrees. Plenty of sunshine in the forecast. We will see a mix of sun and clouds at times tomorrow with those breezy conditions. Winds turning around to the north-northeast at about 5 to 15 with maybe some higher gusts, especially early on. Look for a high near 79 degrees. Then overnight lows tomorrow night down to 52, then 78 for a high on Friday. Keeping with that sunshine and dry weather in place as high pressure keeps things nice and quiet for the weekend. You can see high temperatures getting a little closer to 80 degrees by the end of the weekend, and very small rain chances will arrive for Monday, but mainly across the board as we head into Tuesday with scattered showers and storms and a high of 84.
You're preparing your family for cold weather, but some children in your neighborhood may not have a winter coat.
You can help with our annual Coats for Kids campaign. Now through October 20th, drop off a new or gently used coat at any River Valley Ag Credit. They have locations in 8 counties in West Kentucky.
For more information, head to WPSDlocal6.com and click on contests.
Why some of the cold symptoms you have could lead to something more serious.
That's next in this week's What's Going Around.
Runny nose, fatigue, cough. Is your cold not letting up?
As Local 6's Stephanie Martinez explains in this week's What's Going Around, those symptoms could mean bronchitis.
Dr. F. Gregory Cox at Tenova Primary Care in South Fulton, Tennessee, says his office is seeing cases of acute bronchitis and allergies. In Benton, Illinois, Dr. Brian Harrison says several people are visiting his clinic with body aches, nausea, fever, and chills. He says after treating symptoms, most improve after a few days. Dr. William Conyer is treating viral gastroenteritis, upper respiratory infection, and seasonal allergies at Baptist Urgent Care in Paducah. Also in Paducah, APRN Felicia Cooper is taking care of upper respiratory infections with cough and congestion at Mercy Internal Medicine. And at Four Rivers Internal Medicine in Paducah, APRN Mariah Hamby says strep throat and allergic rhinitis are common right now. For this week's What's Going Around, I'm Stephanie Martinez.
Instagram wants to give you more control over comments. It introduced a comment control tool this week. It gives users a handful of filtering options. You can also block comments from specific users. Scanning the satellites, this is the world's first laptop computer. A factory in northern Japan made it 33 years ago. Production of the Starlet began in 1984. It took 6 months. The main challenge was miniaturizing the keyboard.
That's cool. This hawk had to spend a night inside a grocery store. The bird flew into the store in California yesterday. San Diego County Animal Control told employees they could not respond to the bird. So the hawk was left in the store overnight. Now for sports, the FBI investigation into college basketball is spreading.
Louisville, ground zero.
Oh, yeah.
Many other schools are getting involved with it tonight. We'll have the latest on that. Plus, Cubs looking to clinch the National League Central Division title in St. Louis tonight if they could get a win. Highlights from Busch Stadium next. You're watching WPST Local 6.
We have breaking news. Playboy founder Hugh Hefner has died at age 91. Hefner, of course, launched the Playboy magazine back in 1953 and turned it into one of the most recognizable American global brands in history. His family says Hefner died from natural causes at his home, the Playboy Mansion.
Well, Louisville has certainly been the focus of the FBI investigation into college basketball recruiting, but they are, of course, not alone. As we told you earlier in the show, the FBI has told the University of Miami they are investigating a member of their coaching staff and a student recruit. Alabama jumped into the headlines tonight as well, as their athletic director Greg Byrne releasing a statement saying after yesterday's news, they did an internal investigation, and while they found no rules violations, they did accept the resignation of Kobe Walker, who oversaw all of Alabama's basketball administration. The irony there is that Baker previously worked with the NCAA as Assistant Director of Enforcement. His job was described as processing information in cases of amateurism violations. Well, for Louisville, more bad recruiting news tonight as Romeo Langford, top 5 recruit in the country. His dad says he is no longer considering Louisville. Earlier today, both Anthony Simons and Courtney Ramey, a pair of 5-star guards who had committed to sign with Louisville for next year, both of those guys decommitted today. Also today, President Greg Postal said they hope to have an interim coach named within the next 48 hours, and time is of the essence as official practice starts this weekend for the Cardinals. For the second straight night, the Chicago Cubs trying to clinch the National League Central Division title in St. Louis against the Cardinals. Cubs looking for back-to-back division championships for the first time since 2007 and 2008. Take you to Busch Stadium. Cardinals scored first, but the Cubs would answer. 2 on for Addison Russell. Down the left field line, that's gone. 3-run home run, 3-1 Chicago, and the celebration became inevitable. 5-1 in the 9th. Randall Grichuk, the deep fly to center, but that's going to stay in the yard, and that will do it. The Cubs win 5-1. They clinch the National League Central. For the Cardinals, any St. Louis loss or Colorado win, the rest of the regular season will eliminate St. Louis from playoff contention. And congratulations to John Armstrong, the Week 3 winner of the Hardee's Touchdown Takedown. He picked 12 of 16 NFL games correctly last week. Wins a Hardee's gift card. And don't forget, we have weekly prizes and a grand prize, a $500 gift card. If you haven't signed up yet, go to WPSTLocal6.com, click on contests. Week 4 of the NFL season starts tomorrow, so don't be tardy, Tom.
All right. Well, I won't. Jeff, thanks.
Barbecue on the river tomorrow and cooler
also
temperatures.
begins, yes, and nice stretch of cooler days with highs in the 70s. Boy, enjoy it. It really doesn't get much better than this as we get closer to the cold season.
And we will be live tomorrow from Barbecue on the River at 5 and 6 o'clock.
Absolutely.
So make sure you come and say hello.
Have a good night. Thanks for watching Local 6 at 10.